Welcome to Desynced. My name is Nilaus, and this is the first of what I hope to be many videos of Desynced. From I first played this demo in January, I fell in love. There was something wonderfully unique about Desynced, and I'll try to convey my enthusiasm to you and in this video and all the following videos. Firstly, thanks to Forklift Interactive for sponsoring this video and the live stream on Twitch tonight, so do check that out as well. As always, when I accept a rare sponsorship, it is because it's a game I'm interested in and I want to cover here on the channel. The views and opinions are of course my own and they're not subject to approval or review. What is Desynced? Well, according to Steam it says, Desynced is a sci-fi strategy game with fully customizable units and behaviors. Gather, build, research and explore the unknown, alone or with friends. Unveil the mystery of an AI on the edge of self-awareness and uncover the hidden truth in this blend of strategy, automation and exploration. To add my own take on this, Desynced is a refreshingly different take on the factory genre with features that challenge the conventional design philosophy of the genre. It is not yet another game with inserters and belts. There are actually no belts at all. It also allows incredible flexibility with the ability to write logical programs to control behaviors of units and buildings. Desynced is releasing on Steam on the 15th of August, and I was lucky enough to be able to give you this early preview. Check out the link in the description below to support developers and this channel. As usual, if you like this kind of video, be sure to hit the like button to get visibility for this series and this game. And of course, consider subscribing to the channel to get a lot more Desynced and a lot more factory games. Let's dive in. And we're in the game. Here we are.
Welcome back, Commander. Your ship has been damaged, and I've taken you out of stasis. I am Elaine, Emergent Logistics Artificial Intelligence Network. What you're seeing is a feed from an unidentified planet, where I've deployed a team for you to command. This planet seems to be the source of the damage, and we are unable to leave the planet's orbit until our ship is repaired, and the source of the damage is identified. You will need to establish a small mining facility in order to proceed with ship repairs. This will be your primary objective. Communications are currently limited, so one of the first things you will need to do is to establish an uplink from ground level. Try to find metal and crystal deposits, as we will need them for repairs.
Look at that.
Crystal can be used in its raw form for now.
So, the awesome moderators, the awesome developers decided to make a special mod for me that has my logo on my command center. Isn't that awesome? I absolutely love this. So thank you very much for making that. That is an interesting perk to get. So I really appreciate that. I've also been spending a lot of time with the developers on trying to learn the game, and I absolutely love it. So let's start by just explaining a lot of the mechanics and stuff like this. We start with the command center, and I started to move my command center up here to deploy it because we need to deploy it somewhere. This is basically our center of location. And we also have some drones. These are scouts. You can see they're equipped with a laser mining tool, so I've set them up to do some mining. What I'm also going to do is just say that when they're done mining, when they're full inventory, they're going to go back. I'll be explaining all these registers a bit later, but I want to explain another core concept that also makes this very different from other games very early. So maybe you saw it while the AI was talking, that I put a small turret in here. You can see that there are some components, or basically everything in this game is either a platform or a component. A platform is a vehicle or a building, and a component is, well, some kind of capability they have. They come in different sizes. There's the internal, which is really small, and then there's the small socket, then there's a medium socket, then there's also a large socket later on. And you can see that this command center is a big chunky thing. It has 2 medium sockets and 3 internal sockets, and also a lot of inventory. And basically buildings will have some kind of combination of sockets and inventory, and as you unlock more tech, you will unlock more and different options here. What is really unique about this is that, for example, we have here a fabricator which fabricates stuff. I can put it, even though it's a small one, I can put it into a medium socket. There's plenty of room, and it can start working on stuff, for example. But I could also, if I want to be a little bit cheeky, I could put it over here. And now we have a vehicle that is actually a factory. So this drone here is now working exactly like a factory. It just moves around. Of course, it'll be having generally less storage because it also sort of has to be floating and moving. But it's really cool because that means I can move my turret back here. And then now that works as a little local defense on my command center. And that is incredibly flexible, incredibly unique. So you can have your buildings being factories, being power poles, being being solar panels. You can actually have it as a power pole. That means you can drive your power pole into your factory instead of the factory driving into the power pole. It's incredible, the options we have. But because my mind just doesn't work in those advanced ways just yet, I'm going to be putting my fabricator in here, and we're going to start making a lot of metal bars, the simplest part, and we're going to just do that as an infinite amount, so it'll just continue to make that. What happens immediately is that because this is hooked up to our logistics network, and these miners are also part of the logistics network.
Large quantity of
Okay, I know that we're going to need a large quantity. Don't need to tell me that. Then this is part of the logistic network. Then it will try to see, hey, there's a supply here and there's a demand here. Let's meet those things. We can also do it in another way of disconnecting these two from the network, and like that, and then it'll basically, when it is full, go back to the command center and unload. For example, this one is 66. When it gets to 80, which is the maximum storage, it'll go back. Now that also means that this drone will no longer have access to going here and picking it up, but that's fine. So that's the first thing we want to do. We want to just continue making some of this. What I also want to do is right now I will be making yet another one of these, so we can get 2 of these going immediately there, and we'll get those. That's going to be here, and that's going to be here. These will take some metal bars. There we go. So now we have that going just a little slowly, but it works. Now we're going to be using
more mining units. You must fabricate.
I must fabricate an assembler. We'll get an assembler, don't worry, but not just now. I will show you something about exploration, because you can see here this is an explorable, and if we move up here,
investigate ruined structures across the world for data to help advance your technology. You may need to repair them before you can gain access. Exploring them could provide valuable information and resources.
So basically you have to solve a little puzzle here, and then after you solve the puzzle you have to put in some materials, and then you get some cool things. We got a signal reader, which is not something we can actually use right now, but we have it. So what we do want to do is now start building some buildings. And over here we have some buildings. We don't have a lot of different buildings, but we have a building here that says building 1 by 1, and it's 1S. So that means it takes 1 by 1 square, 1 tile, and it also has 1 small socket and 2 internal sockets and 4 storage. So that's kind of the only thing we can do now. We also have a storage block, which is, I mean, also something. So that's another thing we can do. We're going to start by making a storage block. That'll be 1, 2, 3 in between, and we're going to put it here because I want to have this as a walking path, or, you know, a sacred path for our potential city blocks. And these will now go in here. You can see that our issue is that this is not producing as fast, so we're going to actually get to switch you into doing more of these, so we can get that going. On top of that, there are also some prefabricated ones that are already created by the game, which is basically this metal bar production prefabricated. It's a combination of a fabricator combined with on the 1 by 1S. So that's fine. We'll just take a few of these. We'll get 3 of those, I guess. And that will just slowly get in here. And what do we need? We need some crystal chunks that we picked up a little bit in the beginning. We need some metal bars. You can see this is just rushing back and forth. What we also need to do is we need to go here and then start making some of this, because that's going to be needed for these production. Oh, that's a little bit too much. We only need 3. There. Let's get those in. They're unfortunately not coming in particularly quickly, because that's they still need to work on all of those things. So maybe that's a little bit premature. But anyway, we need to build it so we can get these 3 up and running. They will now start working on metal production, which means we can outsource our metal production from here. And also what we can do is we can switch to those being the home locations. So they will be going to this home location. It'll be closer. And then we don't need to have our materials in here. What we want to do now is make an assembler. That should also be pretty simple to make. We do need a little bit more of the crystals, and we're just going to go out here and pick up the residual crystals we have. There we go. That will also be going in. And then we have a little bit more of these things. You go out there and explore. It's funny how it actually just wants to go do these things first. There. We have a good amount of resources here, but unfortunately we only have 1 resource that goes back here. And we are getting... There we go. Now we are working on the assembler. The assembler will be, well, useful for a lot of things that we want to build moving forward. We can also see that we now have a pretty good production of this. So I'm going to be making a few more of these prefabs. I think I'll build 2 of these and 1 there. And then I'm also going to, I think I'm overbuilding by now. I have a tendency to do that. So we'll build all this. These two will actually be building something else. They'll be making the plates, which we're currently making in here. And then what else could we make in here? I think we'll actually take you out and put a assembler in instead. So we now have the resources. They wanted to make an uplink so we can establish connection to the mothership, and that will give us access to tech. You can see now there are more things we can do. I'm going to make a few circuits, not a lot, but just like 5 of those. Get some circuits in. Once we have the circuits in, then we will be able to make a few more robots or a few more drones that we would absolutely need. I will be going out here and just harvesting whatever scattered crystals we have around here, and then we'll be making a little bit more of the stuff we have. So we've now built a little bit more here with our metal production. That's really nice. And I'm also starting to work on some worker bots and also some additional miners. And of course, we're missing a little bit of the crystals here. You can see our little drone here is just running around like crazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 3 of these and I'm going to highlight them as being now sort of haulers. That will be good. And you will then be picking up one of there. Now this is a miner, and you're going to be going down here for the mining, and then you're going to go back when you're full into that storage. Actually, I'll put it into the top storage here. And if we make the other ones, you can see that we are really short on the crystal. That's okay. We can just get that in here and go back. So now we have the crystal, and I will be making a few of these additional. I think we want a few more drones as well. Let's get 2 more. There. That's 3. 2 more. Come on. Make 2 more drones there, and I will also make the uplinks so we can get started on the tech. And I will be disconnecting my scout. This is my scout. It also has a turret, so it's the safer one from the network. Yay, we got a bot build. And you will be another miner. So let's get you down here. We're going to get a lot more miners of this part. We have 3 servicing, and then we have 1 more. You should be coming in. That is, oh, we can't do that because we don't have anyone making circuits yet. There. All right, so what we do want to do is let's see here. That is, we have a place to explore. Here's another little puzzle that we have to solve, and here you need to connect all of it at once. There we go. And then we got a beacon that we can't really use. That's just a random chance to get some things. And you are going to also be a miner. Thank you very much. And then also go down here and get you back to that location. Did I get all the... This one that does not have a home location. There we go. And we can also just do it as a request. 1 of these, yes. And I can also request 1 of these. Yes. And that will be... They'll be getting there. You just go back here and unload. And then they should be bringing in there into the inventory. And explore.
The technology
transfer.
in this structure is highly compatible with our own. Investigating more of these structures would advance our own technology.
There we go. We also got some blue cubes. Nice.
It is clear these structures were built by a similar life form, yet the timestamps date back thousands of years.
And we're going to be making...
These data cubes have extremely dense data clusters. It seems, right now, we can only access surface level data. If we can recover more of these cubes, we can gain greater knowledge of this world. With a sufficient amount, it will help us unlock gateway technology.
Cool. We want gateway technology. What we also want is to get the uplink so we can connect to our... Man, that looks so beautiful with that logo on. That's so cool. Thank you for making that. We got a little bit more. When I don't use my scout for anything, I might as well have him run around and feeding things here. You can see they are much slower. We should build foundation walls to work on. You can see here, this has a little bit of resource, so they are here and they will just be put in. I really love the fact that you can see each and everything on this building, so you can see the inputs and outputs. You can see exactly what's in here. You can see exactly what's in the storage. It is such a cool little feature. Even though you don't really see it during normal play, it's just nice to know that you can actually see what's in there, especially for things that have large storage, and then you can get a sense of what's actually in. Cool. We got a building, so we now have...
We have established a connection to the surface, and I have already begun synchronizing our databases.
There we go. So that's the tech tree. There are a number of different techs. We have virus tech, we have human tech, we have alien tech, and we have blight tech. Those are all advanced techs. But we start with our robotic tech because we are the robots. And here there are 3 different things to pursue. Once we get the last one, gateway technology, as was mentioned, then we can unlock the next tech and next tech, and these will be unlocked soon enough. It is a bigger game than it seems, so that is pretty damn cool. They want us to unlock the basic resource structures first. If we do that, which we will, then we can see that we will get a building that is 2x1, and it has a 1 medium slot and a small slot as well. Great, because the assemblers require a medium slot, so we're going to need that put in here. We also get a small building that has 2 sockets, but only 2 inventory slots. So, and we can also do the reinforced plates. That's pretty good. Let's get that going. It works the way that this one uplinks, and then it takes some resources in. It needs the plates inbound, and luckily we have tons of plates, so that's not a problem there. What we can build in the meantime, well, there's a lot of things we'd like to build. I think we actually want to just continue to make circuit boards, because we're going to need a lot of those moving forward. So let's wait until we got the research inbound. So deconstruction is also a really weird thing here, and I'm going to mention this because I got stuck on deconstructing myself. So here it is. Basically, you start with an assembler that can make a deconstructor. Once you have the deconstructor, which is a small component, you can put it into either a building or a unit, and then just have it target something nearby, even the ruins here, and then it will deconstruct it and break it into components. That's really neat, because you probably want to tear something down when you misplace it, and I just couldn't figure out how to do that, but that's how it's done. And we're going to be continue to make some circuits while we don't have anything else to do.
For mothership repairs, we need higher level material production. Advanced materials are the next level of development, which can be produced in the assembler. We will require a high volume of materials, so you will need more buildings and mining units to keep up with resource demand.
Yeah, so that means we now need to build or not need to, but we can build our next building. This is the building, and this will be 1 city block, this will be another city block, and that means I need to build it up here. So I'm just going to have to count and look where it's going to be. This does look like it's far away, but it actually isn't that far away. But it will be sort of making into dedicated builds up here. Now, we can also at this point see that there's something else. We have also here on the prefabricated, we didn't get anything else, but we have a new on the library here. We get some new buildings, and that's a 2x2 smelter. That is something I have built a blueprint for, and that's basically, this is a 1x1 smelter, or 1x1 smelter, but it only has 1 S, but you can actually have a 1 tile that has 2 S's. Because that's one of the new buildings we unlocked. We unlocked this one, 1x1, 2S. It has 2 S's, 2 Y's, and only 2 inventory. This one has a little more inventory, but only 1 S. So, you know, there's always a trade-off. And I can use this to build here, 1, 2. And it's going to be a little bit more demanding, what we will do here. Let's see. These ones take quite a while to build, but we have built the circuit, so I can take the one that makes circuits in, there we go, and then make it into doing some of these. 10 of those. Definitely not 10. 6. Sweet. There you go. 6 of those. And that will be built, and then will be put into here. Maybe actually only 2. There we go. Because we're going to need a lot more production of metal bars. Also have a little bit more in terms of here. But our power is a little bit problematic, because we get 500 for the power cell that is inside our command center. But we need to get more than that. If we look at this, this is requesting power, and then requesting crystal chunks. We don't really have a lot of crystal chunks. They are here. And if I just bring this in to this location. There we go. And then you go back. Then now we can start, once we have that last one, or the last of these done. There we go. And that's going to be done very shortly. Once that's done, we switch it back to the uplink again, because we're going to still have to make a lot of reinforced plates here. And there we go, that's building, and then we switch after that. There we go, switch back to the uplink, and the uplink will now start working, because it then gets the crystal chunks in here. And we now have 2 more locations here that make smelters, 2S smelters, and we're also going to be throwing in just a storage next to it, like that. That is going to be handy. Where's about our you're just diligently running around. That's fine. What about these? Are they coming? Well, it's going to take a little bit of time before they get there. But when they get there, we will also need a lot more of these chunks. So in the meantime, I can take my robot, my explorer, and send out into the world to explore some things here. I'm going to disconnect it from the network, otherwise it'll start going back. There's another one for us to solve. Let's see if we can do that. We get a signal reader, and we also have a repair required, so I will just request just that thing. Here you go. And then after you go back into the network, I don't think it even needs to be part of the network. It'll just, no, actually it shouldn't be part of the network, but it'll still be getting this stuff because someone else will want to bring it in. There we go. And I certainly don't want to pick up that. There. And we go here and empty or incomplete it.
Get
some more
items
items.
On some of these
Perfect.
parts match our own exactly. However, the chances of two species evolving in exactly the same way are astronomical. How is such a thing possible?
And are they done? No, but very close to done. And once they are done, this is also the basic power is almost done. And there we go. Now this is being done. Yes. So what are we going to build here? We are going to build... Let's bring the assembler over to that location. We're going to be building more assemblers. Very important. But we're going to be finishing up the basic power first. Basic power isn't really useful, but it's the one after the basic power that's needed. I'll be making reinforced plates in this location just forever and ever and ever. Just getting that going. And this one will make circuits forever and ever and ever. And that's why we need to build more here. So what do we want? We actually want the power transmittance here. Because this one gives us solar power and batteries, which is kind of what we need. This one gives us crystal power, which I don't really like burning crystals for power. So I'm kind of going to skip that. We also get small power fields and lights, which is awesome. So we'll do this, even though it's going to take 10 reinforced iron plates for each.
We have a wider range of structures now with which to expand our base. We will need to research basic robotics to produce more advanced materials needed for mothership repairs and more efficient units to manage our base.
Cool, yes. But we're working on this one just slowly. And in here we'll make another assembler, because then we can get started on the next one as well. We got the assembler. Bring the assembler up here. And what else we want to make here, I think that what's really important is also getting more... Oh, I should have built this. There we go. Get some more storage around here. I think that's just a good thing to get some more storage. And we also need to expand here as well with more of these smelters here. But then we'll start running into other problems. We can see that we are just having issues with our power as it is right now. But we want to make here, we're going to prepare to make some power fields. So let's say we make 5, yes. And we'll make 5 of the other ones as well, of the lights as well. And then I'll show you we can start working on our city block pattern. So it wouldn't really be a Nilaus playthrough without some kind of brownout happening immediately. We're struggling a little bit for power because we don't really have anything, but we're getting power transference right now. And robots are moving a little bit slower because they don't really build up their internal supply. So now we have it, and that means we can actually start building some of the stuff we want. We want to build a few of these. 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. Yes, please. They will be solar panels. They will be producing 50 each, which is nice. At this point, you can say, basically the works that they will only start filling up their internal buffer when there's excess power in the network. So first the power will go to feeding all the machines that are working, and then after that it'll fill up the internal buffers that they need to fill up. They will still be working, but they'll just work slower if they don't have enough power. But we're getting the first ones. So here's the cool thing. Well, there's so many cool things. There we go. We're going to put that on top of there. That means during the day, it'll produce 50 additional power. I think this is like the brilliant thing that we can do is just take all of our worker bots and then turn them into mobile solar panels. There we go. That's going to be one more going out there. And that's just, that's going to be 4 of those. On top of that, once we build those 4, we are going to build additionally... see, yeah, we're producing enough. We're going to build some batteries as well, which we'll be putting into these facilities. That should also be good. And we have one more, and that's going to be put on you. Oh, I can't drop it on the ground. That's perfect. I love that you can't put it on the ground. because then otherwise I would have just dropped it on the ground. There we go. That's going to go in. And I think we have one more. That's going to be that one as well. So now we have 3 solar panels. We'll have 4 solar panels. That's 200 additional power. It's not going to be a lot, but it's going to be enough for us right now. I'm going to make some batteries. Let's also make 4 of those, even though I can't make 4 of those, or I don't have anywhere to put those 4, but it's good. Then we can go back to this basic robotics. This is the one it wants us to make. We can get dashboards, which are better. We can get a bigger building. We can get a 1x1 that has a medium slot. That's interesting. And we get the robotic assembler as well, which can make even more advanced stuff, such as the energized plate. But that's going to be a little bit here. But what we also have is that we've unlocked here another one. It's called a power pole, and I will be trying desperately to put this in the right spot. I'll put it right there. Oh, I need to hold shift so I can place multiple of them, and it'll be there, I think. Here, and then go on this side, and then it'll be basically this 3x3 is the path, and then it's going to be the block here. It starts here. It starts here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, and out up to that location, and then moving down here, it'll be at that location, I think. Yes, so that's 4, and we can do one more, and I think that will be built over on this side. We can also do power, and you can see that this is where we want it just outside the range of the power pole. That is going to be the range of it, and that is, in my opinion, kind of the easiest way you can build it. If you build it further out, you can still have a coherent coverage of all of it, but they won't be placing it if it's outside. Here they can stand inside the logistics network, which is also the power network, and then reach out and build this one, which is really convenient. And this also means that during the night we will actually be seeing this one light up with a little yellow light. We can also just change the light if we want. We want the whole thing being a purple light, then that is definitely something we can do. And it's definitely, I guess, something we are going to do. We can of course also copy paste these there, get them in when they're there. So we get purple lights everywhere. I'm not sure that's going to make it better, but hey, it's my color, so that's what we're going to do. Right here, we have some batteries. I'll be putting the batteries into these locations up here. And now this will now have a battery. So what we can do is we can actually make a little new build for this. We can go into our library. If we select this one, go into the library, scroll down beyond all this, then we have an unnamed building, the one that is selected. If I click here, save current selection, we create a blueprint exactly out of what we've already done. We can just give it a name. We can call that circuits there, and I can also delete another one because I didn't want that. And then I can do the same thing up here. This one also is ready to go, so I'll go in here, scroll all the way down, take my unnamed building, that one, and call that reinforced plate. Multiple, there we go. And when we now need to build things, then we can go in here for our library. We can see we have reinforced plates. Oh, I really wish I could choose the icons here, but I don't know, maybe that's coming later. So reinforced plates, I can just put it in here. I can go in here and take the one that's called circuit and build it in there. Then it will build it, all these things immediately. Now remember, it won't build it because the assembler doesn't exist in the network, so we're gonna have to build a few of these. Whoops, a few assemblers. Let's make a few more than we need. There we go. And then we also have some batteries as well. The batteries have already been moved in, so the only thing we're missing is exactly the assemblers. And they will be coming in. Oh, look at that. These are not working very well. The reason why they're not working very well is because there's way too much demand for the metal plate compared to all the other things, which means it's a good opportunity for us to do something else. Let me grab my... Here, this one. And... oh, we got the basic robotics. That means we can now do energized plates. It also means that we can do the dashboard, which is an amazing robot. And we can also do some bigger buildings. And if we want those. Great. But in here, we are going to... oops. We're going to focus on getting the signals. We're going to get this one and this one. And that's going to be sort of the target for the first episode here. Now, what I want to do is I want to take my deconstructor and move over. I don't need a defense, so... there. So now this scout here is my deconstructor, and that can now deconstruct things. What is it going to deconstruct? It's actually going to deconstruct these. It isn't. It shouldn't do that. I'll take the 2S smelter here and here. Get those built. And that is also built. Let's get that over to the purple light, because of course it is. So what we need to do here is build these. Oh, we need assemblers or fabricators. Let's get some fabricators first. 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. They should be pretty easy to make. We have all the materials for it. So I wanted to actually delete these two, but I don't think that's a good idea right now, because we are actually going to need a lot of those inbound here. Oof. That is a little bit of a problem. Can I... wasn't there a way that I could switch this off? I believe there was a way, but I don't know. Don't know. Yeah, I cannot just deselect it here, because this is taking way too many. I'm gonna deselect you, just for now. Because I don't want to use my precious metal plates until I get them in here. There we go. This is just missing a lot. So we'll get these two up and running, and I think I'll replace these two here as well, just to get that going. So now we've unlocked the behaviors, which is probably the most unique thing about this game, if I'm being perfectly honest. Let's go in here to the library. These are the blueprints of buildings and units, for that matter. But over here we have behaviors, and behaviors are basically small programs that you can make in the game. We are not going to go into it, but I wanted to show it in the first episode because I want you to go like, oh, this is cool. So for example, I have previously made different things. Here you have all the commands, so it's very much a way of doing functional programming. And basically this program, just to illustrate, is using a radar component and then scanning for items that are dropped on the ground, and then storing the variable, checking if I have space on the unit to pick up the variable. If I do, then I'll pick it up. If I don't, then I'll go back and store all the stuff that we have in our inventory, and then it'll just go back and scan for more stuff. And then it'll sort of be just idling, cleaning up our base. If we have a program like this, it'll just be checking our base if there's anything broken, and then or anything on the ground like this, for example. You know what? I'm actually going to show you. I'm going to show you how awesome it is right now, because that, of course, I am. Behavior controller. There we go. We're going to make a behavior controller. Then we're going to use our here, this one, and you're not going to carry that one here. And you will get the behavior controller. I will be requesting a behavior controller that is here. You need that in order to do any kind of behavior. And then I will just, here it is. It gets the behavior controller anytime now. You just not get it yourself? No. It needs someone else to come and deliver it, which is done now. So with the behavior controller, that's an internal component, which means they are easy to just add. Then we get in here. I am going to get from the library, and then I'm going to do the scan and pickup. I will be loading that in here. Now that's loaded, and we should have something here. I need a radar as well. I need a radar. We're also going to need a radar. Which one is the radar? You look like portable radar. That looks like a portable radar. We're also going to get that. That's also an internal component, I think. So we'll just request the portable radar. There we go. So now we have the radar in here, and that will be scanning. I don't think I need to set a value here, but I can't really remember, because I think it actually sets the filter itself for the radar, what it scans for. So let's give it a shot. Hold our breath, and here we go. It scans. It finds something. Oh, it found some idle things on the ground. It scans again. Finds some more. It'll just sometimes have a tendency to just go too far away, which is probably a good reason why it's a safe thing. It's a good thing for us to actually go back here and make sure that you have your... There. Get that inbound, because we absolutely need to make sure that if you find some kind of enemy out there, which is going to happen sometimes if this one is just in scanning mode. And you can see there, this is the good principle of show don't tell. So first I told you how this works, and then now this one I don't have to do anything. It'll just be on a permanent quest to fill up its inventory with random crap, all thanks to this little program. And we'll be doing a lot more cool programs like this. It does have a tendency to just, it scans around it, so it can get further and further away if you're a little bit unlucky, or now it'll luckily go back here and fill up. And we want to see what happens if, oh, it should also have set a home location to, let's say, that one. Which means that if it's full, it can't pick it up, then it'll go back to the home location. You can see it's now on step here, and it goes out. There we go. So, and that is that's how it works. And let's see, destinations at the register store. Yes, there you go. Good. So oh, hold on, set destination to... Yeah, you move towards the store location. And there we go, it picked up the stuff that was nearby and then went back and put it in here. That is really, really nice that it works like this. Actually, the way I'm looking at it, it does have a little bit of a tweaking that needs to be done so that it doesn't go back. It doesn't go to the drop-off location all the time. But, you know, there's minor tweaks. That's always the way with programming. There's always going to be minor tweaks that you need to do. But I think that we have gotten into a very nice position here with this base. We have a nice little base here. We got some of the basic stuff done. We are looking at new tech, which means we need energized plates here, and that gets the portable transporter, which is basically an inserter, which means we don't need robots to move things between all these things. We can actually have them being moved automatically by just funneling from here and then into all the other ones. That's why I built it like this. So that should be interesting to see how that works in the next episode. So if you have enjoyed this episode, do 2 things for me. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, you know that drill. But also there's a link to the Steam, so wishlist the game. That helps the developers get some more traction, and it also helps me to show that, hey, you actually engage with the content. So that's very nice. A big thanks to Forklift Interactive for sponsoring this video and also making a cool special command center to me. If you want to get access to all the programs that I've already made, most of them honestly are not going to work, also the ones that Everlist has made, then I give, as usual, save games and blueprints. All that stuff is available to patrons. So if you are a patron, you get access to all this. Of course, I can't give you access to it just now because the game has not been released. But on release date, I will be giving you access to these save games so that you can enjoy and play as well, and you can sort of continue. I'll be playing a lot more Desynced also tonight on Twitch. So if you want to see more on Twitch, I'll be doing more experimentation, more testing, more progression, and then on YouTube here I will be more focused on sort of showing you the path forward so that it'll be less sort of testing and more showing as we are doing here. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, take care, and as always, stay effective.